Now, on this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn 14,000 to 100,000 within less than a year. I did it exactly. And by the way, listen, I'm not a motivational speaker. I come here sharing with you realistic figures, things that I've tried myself and I have done it. And by the way, if you tried it doesn't work for you, does not mean it didn't work for me. The thing is, we are all talented differently. But anyway, this is Good Joseph in case you're watching me for the first time. And I share videos about investment, savings, anything related to cash. And guess what? I go step by step. I put everything I say on the board so that you don't miss any good point. In case you've been watching me, thank you very much. I'm so delighted by that. By the way, I never take your view for granted. And guess what else I never take for granted? Your like on this video. That's why I always encourage you. Go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure that you turn subscription and also turn that notification on so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. And in case you're watching me for the first time, thank you very much. Let's get on the business, okay? Now, here we are. How exactly do you turn that 14,000 all the way up to 100,000? It's quite over distance. I mean, if you take yourself from 14,000 all the way to 100,000, I cannot lie to you. And by the way, I'm talking about investment here, all right? I'm not doing some funny voodoo magic or something also. No, we ain't gonna violate any principles of investment. If you check the difference between these two, we are actually talking about 86,000 in difference, okay? This is like we are sort of like 9xing our money. We are 9xing our money. Simply means like we are almost like, let's talk of about 8.5% xing, okay? We are multiplying our figure with around that figure. Now, what exactly investment can you get yourself into this and get that amount of money? Let me break this as early as possible. MMF will do that for you. MMF can do that. Bonds can do that. I mean, actually, you can't even invest bonds with that amount of money. Won't do exactly that. But there is one caveat out there. There is one investment that I love most, and that is what we call the stocks. And I dare tell you that right now I'm making this video, it's around 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm just waiting for like 2.5 hours. I buy shares. I buy shares like a crazy person. I love investing on shares and stocks. And I've been giving you reasons why I love it. Listen, let me explain to you how exactly I turned this amount of money. Initially, I had a group with like 6 people. We came together to, this traditional sort of, it wasn't a merry-go-round per se. We were actually coming together to have this money, have it in a pool of funds, and later we can invest the money. But of course, you understand, the moment you get in a pool of people, especially the young guys, you tend to have some rubbing of shoulders. You find that you have different views from the other person and what have you. We were actually contributing as little as 1,000 Kenyan shilling per month, as little as that. And now it reached to a point whereby we had around close to 100,000 in collection because some people were ahead of others and what have you. Now, what happens, like we actually reached to a point whereby we are on a standstill. We ain't going to invest on this money. Some people are saying it's risky. Hey, some people are paranoid. Some people are saying, hey, let's not invest. Let's fix that money in the bank. I'm telling them, hey, let's not fix because if you do fix this money, ain't going to give us good. I mean, you can just understand when you guys come together in a group. Guess what we decided? We decided to dissolve the group and everyone get their share. And my contribution was 14,000. When I believe most of the people contributions were around that amount of money, except with an exception of others. Now, here we are. I received my 14,000 and I was like, you know what? I had the dream with this money. I wanted to invest this money. Well, I had the option of maybe say grabbing something, but I was like, no, I ain't gonna eat this money. I'm gonna invest this money. And I had to run through all the possible investment that I can do. And I was like, you know what? Let me play the risk game. I took the money and invested. Okay, I'm not advertising any company here, but I'm just gonna tell you where I invested my money. I invested in 2 companies, okay? I invested my money in 2 companies as far as the stocks are concerned. Let me just mention these companies because they are our companies here in Kenya. Anyway, I invested in KPLC and I invested in another company called Kenyan. This one distributes lights. This one, not lights. How can I say this? Electricity to people, distributes, all that kind of a thing, okay? Kenya, it's actually Kenya Power and Lighting Company, okay? This one actually generates the electricity, okay? This one distributes and this one generates. So I was like, you know what? This ain't a huge chunk of cash, but I'm going to invest this money. Trust you not, I bought the KPLC shares at around 1.46 per Kenya shilling. One share of KPLC, I bought it at 1 shilling and 46 cents. That was back in 2023. Yeah, back in 2023 at the beginning there. And guess what? This is the amount of money I bought the shares. And of course, Back then, Kenyan shares was almost the same amount of money, but Kenyan, I bought it a little bit higher. Kenyan, I bought it at around 1.55 shillings. Both of them were actually less than 2 shillings. Guess what I did? I actually took this money, are we together, and split this money into two. You know, I was actually, sort of, yes, I was buying shares here and there, but I was not so much into committing myself like buying shares frequently. So I was like, you know what, let me take this money and split it into two. I got my 7Gs here, 7,000 in one split. I pumped that money into the Kenya Power, and then I took the other chunk of 7,000, I pumped it into what? In the KPLC. So that is 7,000, 7,000 here. And I want you to do this. If you watch this video, you can even pause it right now. Okay? Go to the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You know, sometimes I talk and people tend to think like, okay, for those who have ever had a physical meeting, I have ever shown you literally. I repeat, I do offer physical meetings. For those who have ever offered a physical meeting, I must have shown you, or if I didn't show you, then you didn't ask, but I usually show people literally, because now that's a private session when I show you, like, you know what, I bought at this particular amount of money, and then that kind of amount of money, that's where it is right now. Now, when I did this, and I want you to go right now to the Nairobi Securities Exchange and check what is the price per share of KPLC as well as that of Kenyan. And I'm making this video on the 4th of February 2025. And I want you to go check it out there. The KPLC shares as we speak is around 6.75. And then about the Kenyan share, we're talking about the 7-ish per shilling per share. All the way from 1.46 to 6 shillings. Do you know what that means? If I invested, say, 1,000 in these shares, guess what? It has actually moved all the way from 1.46 all the way to 6.75. What's the difference? If you were to subtract these 4, 6, guess how much you left with? This one becomes 15. You get yourself 9 here. Your 6, you get your 2 here. And then here you remain with what? That was 5. That is 4.29, around that amount of money. That is what you'll be having. I don't know whether I've done my math correctly. It simply means that it's like I've actually multiplied that money with that particular percentage. If you invest this, meaning like if I had bought these shares at this amount of money, okay, now that means that money has actually been multiplied by that rate at around 6.7 something. Therefore, I'm playing around that amount of money. So how about if I bought 7? Okay, if I bought 1,000, that's what I get. How about if I buy with 7,000? It means that 7,000 multiplied by roughly this amount of money, which is around 6 point something. Therefore, I'm playing around 45,000, 46,000, around that amount of money. The same case applies here. Get your 7,000 here, put it there, multiply that by 7 point something. You might buy that you're talking about 49, 48, almost to 50K, around that amount of money. You know what? And of course, I received dividends. For those who have actually bought KPLC shares, they have actually received dividends. Guess what? After 9 years, that's when they have received that dividends. I took that dividend, you go back and throw it back there, you plow back, and that's how you grow yourself. If you were to add this money, that's roughly 100K of investment, simply from 14,000 of investment. Because I told you, for you to move from 14,000 all the way to 100K, you need approximately 8.5 times that amount of money. You get yourself to around there. And I'm actually around 0.7 point something there. And you can actually see, plus the dividends that I got, we're actually playing around the figure of 100K. And the moment I log in and check my account and see that amount of money there, of course, it's not liquid cash. That I can't like withdraw it unless I sell those shares. Therefore, I can be able to get that money. You get what I'm saying? And of course, I'm seeing those shares actually appreciating and growing each and every day. And guess what? I mean, you tell me, where do you get that? And actually, this happened in less than 1 year. So it means that it's actually possible for you to do that. And listen, there is a caveat here. Okay, I'm not telling you now, if you go buy the KPLC shares in less than 1 year, you'll get this amount of money. No, I did not say that. Let me repeat that once again. I am not telling you, go check your 14,000 that you have in your account. I am not telling you do that. And you go invest it in this KPLC and Kenyan, and then within less than 1 year, you have yourself 100,000. No, I did not say that. There are some things that usually happen. And of course, I know some of you will be like, hey, Joseph, you are lucky. Absolutely. I mean, true. I cannot lie about that. I was lucky to actually move all the way from 1.46 all the way to 7 shillings. That's truly, it's actually tremendous. Not that I was pro, not that I knew that all things will happen. I only believed and I took the action, the leap of faith to actually invest that money, and that's why it is where it is. True, there are some elements of luck. I cannot deny that. But listen, what if I did not invest? That means the shares could have actually moved from 1.46 all the way to 7 shillings, but I've not invested. Therefore, it means the luck would not be on my side. I can't control how lucky I can be, but I can actually position myself to a place whereby I can actually be met by the luck. That is exactly what you do. For example, right now you're watching, there are those shares that actually cost you 2 shillings to buy, okay? There are those shares that cost you even less than shilling. There's some even shares on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, or maybe from your exchange in your country, if you're watching me from different country, that you can actually buy with that affordable amount of money. I'm not promising you that within a lesson year that you'll be able to get that amount of money, but I can tell you in the world of investment, great things happens, and you can get yourself in such kind of. Look at where the Bitcoin is today. I mean, people used to say, hey, it used to cost, I don't know, $2, 10, 15, whatever. A certain guy actually redeemed his deep Bitcoins, a lot of it actually to buy a pizza, and look where the Bitcoin is. Okay, I'm using the Bitcoin to explain my point. So the point here is never underestimate any investment that you can get an opportunity to invest. And that's why I tell people, never despise that amount. For example, we dissolved that group, and I was like, you know what, I can get this cash and maybe say purchase myself like very nice good sneakers, maybe like several pairs of them. But like you get what I'm saying. You can just try to imagine what I'm trying to think about. I had the opportunity to eat that money and forget about it, but I was like, you know what, let me just take this money and throw it there, and whatever happens, it can be something. And I was like, oh my goodness, listen, if I was to say sell all the shares that I have myself close to 100 G's, and I can withdraw that money and I can do something. I've actually done something about that money that I had out there. So the question is, how then do you do exactly that? What you do is that invest on that what you can afford, and of course, after doing a personal research. Whatever I'm sharing here, this is my own research, and this is why I always give disclaimers. Please, it's always good to advocate, or it's always good to make sure that you contact your financial advisor so that they can be able to take you through, hey, what shares, stockbrokers are the one actually advises you what shares to buy. Should you even buy shares in the first place? Because first of all, they have to understand who is you and what you need. You may not need shares, you may need something different. So make sure that you always do what we call an informed decision. For me, I come here, I share with you some of the opportunities where they are, how can you grab them, what exactly can you do, and such kind of things. And when you actually involve, or actually when you take these actions, you can actually do something great as far as your finances are concerned. This is good, Joseph. And in case you need to have a discussion with me in one way or the other pertaining investment, don't forget that my number is always on the description of this particular video. You can grab it, give me a call, or you can send me an email, and then we can talk business. But for now, it's a goodbye. By the way, don't forget, I still have my booklets about investments. I have my booklet on shares, it is 280. I have a booklet on bills and bonds, it's 440. I have booklets on MMF and a lot of books out there. If you'd like to get any copy, let me know, and then you can get yourself a copy, and we can do something about that. Anyway, that is it, guys. And by the way, go verify what I've just talked about. Some of you guys just watch and never verify. It's always good to go and verify whatever somebody is talking about. Go verify this information so that you become an individual who is out there to learn. See you in the next one.